Perfect. Well, hello. My name is Dani Canada, managing editor of BOSSIP.com. And I am so excited to talk to you, Kristina and Brandon, about Love and Marriage Detroit. First of all, how are you guys doing? How has it been watching the first episode?
I'm good. We're good. How are you, Brandon?
Brandon?
I'm good. Watching the episode, it was wild, and the comments were even wilder. I'm gonna probably stop reading them.
I was gonna say the comments were weighing in. We saw a lot of things said. There was a Stevie J comparison that I saw. I was like, well, that's crazy. Yeah.
yeah. I'm surprised Man Bun wasn't trending.
Well, there's that. Well, first of all, you guys are experts on Detroit. I feel like on this show, we're going to get a crash course on your city. So tell us about Detroit and what we'll learn about it on Love and Marriage Detroit. So I keep hearing this term New Detroit, and I don't really know what that means.
Well, Detroit has come a long way. You know, we are called Motown because we were the car capital and then the music capital at one point. And then, then we were basically like none of that.
Yeah.
Our downtown was virtually a ghost town. And so now our downtown is one of the greatest downtowns in the country. We were voted the #1 Riverwalk. And we just, so if you take the culture of the people that live here and from what's embedded in the past, and then now we have all this stuff flourishing and popping and just great, all these amazing small businesses and young professionals. It's a great place to be.
Yeah.
Kristina, what's your favorite thing about Detroit?
Ooh, well, I'm originally from Buffalo, New York. I've been here for 12 years that we've been married. So I visited a lot growing up, and I can attest that visiting, it was always like, okay, when you guys get to Detroit, be careful. It's not a safe place, and don't go to this side of town. And definitely downtown looked nothing like it does now. So New Detroit is absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful. They put a lot of work into it. Bedrock has really turned, the downtown spaces, the retail spaces, the restaurants around. So I would like to say there's so many different things that I love about Detroit. I do love New Detroit. I love how downtown, the feel that it gives you, like a little mini New York City. I absolutely love that. But I love the women here. I feel like the women in Detroit, they're powerful and they're go-getters. They work hard, and it's very motivating for somebody like me who's come from a smaller city where, women, we're doing a lot more now. But when I was growing up, women weren't really like taking over in business like they are here in Detroit. So I just love that the Detroit women are go-getters and they make it happen. Like, you'll see Detroit everywhere. Like Detroit, there's somebody from Detroit making it happen somewhere. Somebody's always from Detroit. And I just love, like, Detroit breeds like go-getters.
One of my good friends down here is from Detroit. I'm in Atlanta. So I get that for sure. So like you just said, you guys celebrated 12 years. Congratulations on your 12-year anniversary.
Thank you.
So that is a huge milestone. With that, going into the show, did you guys have hangups about exposing your personal life and your marriage for the cameras?
Not really. I mean, I'm born and raised in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And like our city as a whole has been pretty much like been targeted from the rest of the country, my whole life. So we're just resilient like that. So I didn't think that this would like affect our marriage in a negative way. Because we already got our ups and downs. So this couldn't affect us in any way. And then I wasn't really worried about what people are going to say because,
they're talking anyway. People talk.
Yeah, I've been in the spotlight in Detroit, for my whole career. So just used to it. So we're not new to this.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't really have any strong reservations. I did mention that, we definitely should consider like how a lot of our private things in marriage are now going to be public and under a microscope and scrutinized, if you will, by many people that we don't know. So I just wanted to make sure that we were both strong enough individually, and our marriage was going to be strong enough to kind of get through that season of opinions. Opinions and just the spotlight and shining on things that, you know, we go through in private, but now it's for the public.
Right.
I definitely considered that, but you know, we still signed that contract and we're here. So it wasn't enough to kind of deter me. I feel like the opportunity came and I feel like God wanted this for us. And I feel like he'll have us through it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? You were just talking about opinions, and there are a lot of opinions on episode 1, and in particular, the viral clip about going on a boys' trip. People are asking what the proper protocol is when it comes to that. Do you ask your spouse if you can go, or is there just a discussion about whether or not you can go? And I'm looking at you, Brandon.
You asking, are you telling?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of them ones. That's where we probably still are not going to see eye to eye. But I mean, I just feel like there needs to be a feeling of safeness, you know. I feel like if I can make her feel safe about this trip, then it should be no backlash at all, you know. But if it may be somebody that's going that has a reputation, you know, for, you know, getting lit, and, you know, then then that might be a harder sell. But I guess it just depends on the thing. Like if we going on a prayer trip, then I bet you she ain't gonna question that.
Fair. Kristina, another thing that happened in episode 1, because it was just so jam-packed. There was this whole talk about this whole man's movement. And I think a lot of women on social media really felt you on that, where they didn't really understand. It did kind of sound like chauvinistic or like Kevin Samuels-esque. Now that you know more about the man's movement, what do you really think about it?
You know, I honestly still don't know much about the man's movement. I feel like it's still,
Anthony ain't really explain it.
No. I feel like what I get, to be fair,
yes,
there was the wives did attend the man's movement event. Okay. My daughter had an issue where we had to take her to an emergency chiropractor visit, so I wasn't able to attend. So in all fairness, it could have become more clear at the actual event. I was not in attendance.
Okay.
So, but from what I gathered at the time, it seemed, so you can hear him talk, "You're gonna join my class. The men is taking over. The men need to be heard." And I'm like, men are already heard, have been heard. It's a man's world. Like, what are you talking about? So from it just made it seem like, well, what is this really about? Like, are you encouraging men to kind of like over dominate, you know, their wives and their women? I didn't get it at the time. So I guess there's room for me to still kind of learn and understand exactly what the man's movement is. But so far, that is really honestly all I know of it.
Well, Brandon, this is your boys movement, your friend of over 20 years. What is it really about? Because he kind of explained it as like mentorship. So is it just kind of like a club for y'all to like come together, you know, talk man things, learn from each other? What is it?
Yeah, I still am not quite sure myself on if it's a class,
okay,
or a foundation, a march, or a dance class. I don't know. But you know, we did have the event, and we all gave great speeches. And I think it's really just something. I think it's basically like Ray Ray's Boom Boom Room, You know,
What?
you know where that's from? The movie Life? Oh, okay. Okay, it's from the movie Life.
Okay.
You know, when they was in prison, they used to talk about this boom boom room as this just they used to use their imaginations. Because he has done a lot in the community. I just think that he's taking everything he's done in the community and calling it the man's movement. That's what I think.
Okay.
But I commend him for doing it. Like, I don't understand it yet, but the idea of wanting men to come together, and if it is mentorship and, you know, empowering other men to be better husbands or what have you, I commend him because it's not a lot of that out there. So shout out to Anthony. I think it's great.
I mean, you know, Kristina, you should start a women's movement. Honestly, you know, get the girls, the powerful women in Detroit together. Y'all go hang out. Y'all take your girls' trip, let them do their boys' trips, you know, do a little separate thing.
Well, I do have a women's movement, and it is called Shut Up and Pray. And it's just really where women come together and you know, spiritually we come together and pray over each other, pray for each other, create strong bonds with each other, pray for our children, pray for our husbands, just pray for our businesses and life in general.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. Now, another thing I do want to discuss is this whole Detroit club scene. So I work in entertainment, obviously, Brandon. And I know here in Atlanta, we have like networking events and we have lounges and we do have clubs. So for you, talk to me about the importance of being able to be out on that Detroit club scene for your career.
Yeah, but see, the whole thing with Detroit, like our promoters here are like celebrities, you know, like they kind of like are the people, you know, and most of them now are like opening businesses, you know, other businesses and venturing off, and just being connected with those people is like you get like you're not a who's who if you're not in that circle. So it's not like I'm trying to go party and have a good time. No, I'm just trying to stay relevant. That is it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Kristina, what are I see it all on your face. What are your thoughts on the Detroit club scene? Like, what do you foresee happening at these clubs in Detroit?
Twerking.
I'm not 100% familiar with the Detroit club scene.
Okay.
When I first moved here, I did go to a club with Brandon a handful of times to promote artists. You know, there was, you know, one instance that I remember, and, you know, I just feel like sometimes women see what they want and they will go get it. They don't care who you're with. I'll leave it at that.
Yes.
I was with my husband, and, you know, there was a particular person who was trying to like get in his space. Like I was not there. And so I'm like, well, what happens when I'm not here? But that's neither here nor there. I think the issue with me and him being at the club is Brandon, when he gets out sometimes, he likes to drink, and he blames it on.
No, I don't.
You blame it on Bravo. Bravo made me do it. Bravo gave me all these shots. And I just feel like you have to be careful being out and I feel like one drink for him sometimes is too much because he doesn't drink often. And so I just don't feel safe all the time when he's gone and he's had like some drinks. Like, are you okay? You're not answering the phone. I'm home. Yeah, I'm more concerned with his safety. And it's just and he knows that. And for me being home and he's out late, I don't like it either. I like for my husband to be home so that I can rest. I don't rest until my husband's home. So it's just,
that's what it boils down to.
It's a lot of factors, but it's not a thing. Cause I know it was like kind of implied that it's an insecurity thing or it's a trust issue. He knows without a shadow of a doubt that is not it. That's not the problem. It's more so my dad, because again, speaking like from my experience growing up in a traditional home, my dad wasn't out late at night. He was home with his family, making us feel safe. Daddy's home, we can get some sleep, we can be comfortable, we feel safe. And when he's out late, I feel like I'm missing that. And that's a lot for me to handle, especially because that's not something that I grew up, like that's not a dynamic that I had growing up.
Right.
I know you're not my daddy.
All right, so just lastly, we have a lot more episodes to go for Love and Marriage Detroit. What do you hope people learn about you guys as a couple? What do you want more to be shown on this show about you guys?
Just our commitment. You're gonna see some moments. You are gonna see some moments that we, obviously have bounced back from. And yeah, like we are committed to each other, and we are we got that sauce. We got the Detroit sauce. And we splattered it all over every episode. So yeah, like we are the Smiths, and we're dope, and we love each other.
Yeah, definitely, we stick it out. Like, we do go through things, and we are very open, we're very vulnerable and transparent during filming. I want people to really see that there are couples that go through things like these Instagram couples that look so perfect. They may be, and it may be their reality, but it's not everybody's reality. And I feel like a lot of times when people go through things, they compare themselves to those couples that they view as perfect or goals. And it's not everybody's reality that, this perfect marriage exists. It's not. And for us, that is not our reality. This is something that we fight to stay in. We fight for our children. We fight for each other, and we want the world to know that just because you're going through some things, like, it's only sometimes for a period of time. You'll get over the hump. If you both have the same common goal, if you keep God as the base of your relationship, you can get over it, and you can come out on the other side of it, and then have a fresh start and start again if you need to, and again if you need to. Because let me tell you something, it's not always anything, it's not always the best out there. Like, people think, like he said earlier, the grass is greener on the other side. That's not always the case. You're going to deal with something from everybody. So if this person is worth you dealing with their crap or whatever they bring to the table, and vice versa, stick it out, because it's nothing better out there half the time.
And to these single women on Twitter who are saying y'all making marriage looking real untempting, good, don't do it, because it's not what you think it is. It is a relationship that you're making a commitment to being in. You're going to have phases where, the only thing that can get you through is God.
Yeah.
So, if you're not ready for that, stay single.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's pros and cons on both sides.
Yeah.
Marriage ain't easy. Absolutely.
But it's definitely beautiful. It's as beautiful as you make it. So there's hard times, and it's not just hard times. There's a lot of beautiful times and a lot of beautiful moments, but we're speaking specifically on the hard times. When you guys do come into those hard times, just know that, you can get over it. Divorce is not always necessary.
Absolutely.
The beautiful times come back.
Well, there we
I
have
hope
it.
you see a beautiful time on next episode too. I'm hoping for that.
And we can see some beautiful times between you guys on Instagram. Where can we follow you?
So you can follow me at Kristina Bowman Smith.
And Brandon Smith Inc. INC.
All right. Well, we are looking forward to seeing some more beautiful moments between you guys on Love and Marriage Detroit. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Bye, Lakina. Bye, guys. Bye, Brandon.